can check, talk, strat. Yeah, that's the goal. Like, I will let you think. I will let you say things that you think are good or not, and we are going to exchange together. That's the goal, actually. So we're gonna start doing this. Okay, so 6-5 limbs. This guy limbs. This guy free bets. This guy ISO, and I free bet. So limp 40 and 130. Type of call. And the flop is 8-5-7. So the first thing is, what do we do with 6-5 here on this type of board, where we actually have a lot of equity? So what do we do here? Green is rec, VIP. Blue like this is players that play like 500 NL or lower. So I know that when they play 1k, it's the biggest deck they play. Blue is standard reg, normal reg, and so here I decided to check. The reason why I checked is I think this hand has a lot of potential playing as a check call. You have a lot of runouts where you can bluff, and you can bluff ends that you're going to broke against. So for example, if I broke against 9s and it's like 50-50, it's not 50-50, but it's close to a flip if he has 10s, for example. Then when I call and there's a king, I can make 4 10s, for example. And the range of the rec, I think, is going to be oriented also towards 7s, 8s. Maybe same for crazy. I mean, I don't think you should have 8, 7 super often, so yep. I think check is a bit better. If players are tight, you can even bet small, like 39. Opt for a raise with 9s and 10, just jam directly on the flop to make them fall. So yeah. I was squeezing suited lower connector too much against Rex. I'd rather squeeze and like Queen Jack, King Jack off. No, 6-5 is playing way better than King Jack off in spots. And against a reg that ISO way too much, I think this is a mandatory ISO here. So this guy bet 1/3, and I just hesitate on the flop, and I think the 1/3 range, even if he bets 1/3, is actually extremely strong. I think that when the guy has like his queen, king, queen, etc., I think he will mainly play as a check. So now the range is strong. Do I want to broke against like 9 is going to call as it has the backup. I don't think if rec is folding 10s and jacks, so I think we just need to call and hope for a lucky turn where we can actually turn our end into a bluff. So yeah. Maybe all in 6-5. It can't be that bad with that much equity, but I think for the reason I explained, check is better. Yeah, but if Rex isn't producing much fold equity, plus flop, then the connector don't perform as well as in theory. Yeah, that's true, but I don't think against squeeze call massively. And for example, if the guy calls ace jack, yeah, he calls ace jack, but it's gonna be super tough for him to play on a lot of runouts. So I don't say we are happy because he has ace jack, but that's not that bad. And I said without that many information, I think we need to squeeze more 6-5. I mean, raise the ISO. Because this is not a squeeze. This is, yeah, this is limp raise free bet. I mean, no, excuse me, limp ISO free bet, yeah. So I check the turn. Can we think about leading? I don't think so. I don't think that's any interest here. Yeah, I just don't like, I don't think we have any incentive to lead this hand here. We just need to play the check, unfortunately. We might have incentives to lead if we want to, seems to bet not often, but it's not gonna be the case on the juice. Like if he wants to bet 10s, he's going to bet 10s anyway. And now on the turn, so yeah, I tank here, I check. Also, the reason why I tank this spot, I'm saying it all the time, and that's just free money. This advice is just free money. When you play against a rec, really tank this spot because it scares them. You will see it on the end. You will see, but it actually scares them, and it's really profitable when it scares them to check more because they will check a bit more back when you tank, and when you have a bluff catcher, it helps them to be a bit scared. And the reason why it's really great is because, again, you have free profile. First profile doesn't care about your timing and is going to play the same way. Second profile, he is scared and is going to bluff a bit less. Third profile, he knows he knows what you're doing, and he's going to bluff you more because he thinks that you are actually weak. And the thing is, like, second profile are way more happens way more than third profile, and first profile you don't care because it doesn't change anything. So you should play always like this against Rex. Always scares them. Of course, if you play against them like every day, every hour, they're going to understand. But if you don't play with them super often, it's like really profitable to do that all the time. And here in this end, we saw that it had benefits. So I thought now on the turn, he can still have ends like nines. He might have tens too, but now he's a 10 on the board, like it's only 3 combination. He can also bet bigger on the flop or bet the turn. So now I thought he was going to have ends like 8-9, maybe ace-8, maybe ace-5, maybe 7-6, maybe 8-9. And I think I have a lot of fold equity, and I don't see that many strong hands. We can think about slow play, but even if he has like aces, kings, I think he's going to massively bet on the turn and on the flop. And again, I don't think aces, kings play that much as a limp call, because aces and kings just can play as open, can play as a limpy raise. So in terms of weight in the limp call line, I don't think he has that many hands. And now when he played this way on the flop and on the turn, I don't think he has aces and kings. He has aces and kings anymore. So I'll tell you to jump here. So tell me what do you think? In general, I agree that playing big pots against Rex with anything playable is good. So you can definitely get away with it, but I usually like higher cards better. I prefer to, but I think it's still mandatory to resolve because in general, when the limp and have IVPIP, the limp region is so weak that you need to have 6-5 here. 10% pot and getting called by ace king. The problem with that is you suppose he has ace king, ace queen, but we can play a scenario when he never have ace king, ace queen. Like a lot of people here, when they have ace queen, ace king, they're just going to check on the flop. And the problem is you can bet and be called by always a better hand, and it's not bad because sometimes he will have ace queen, ace king, but it's bad, but it's bad because also sizing might be better. That's the reason. So I decided to jump for folding fold equity against ends like this. Hello from Alberta, Canada. Thanks for doing this. Thanks, man. I appreciate. And thanks, China Fighting. I check because we have enough missed trade draw to bluff, and we have some showdown. The problem of thinking this way is you think about your range and other combos, and that's not the right approach, because when you play against a rec, against a VIP, you don't need balance, and you need to maximize the EV with every hand you're playing with. And that's the way to maximize your EV here in this spot, with all your hands. So I think here with 6-5, it's not that I think, is you need to think about what's the best EV move here. So I decided to jam, and really surprised about the showdown because he fold. And as the speed he fold, like you can expect like 8-9, 7-6, and this type of hand. And my timing actually triggered him, and that's really surprising. But he fold queens. That's not so surprising given the action, because in general, when you do I call that matching profile. The type of profile I check queens on the turn might be the same that actually fold the river, because that means if they check queens, it often means that they're scared. So players that check back queens might not call them the river. Actually, same for jacks. But really surprised about the showdown. Honestly, I didn't thought about making fold queens when I do that. Maybe sometimes you make fold jacks, but like queens is, I was really surprised. Of course, he didn't show my 6-5 because he was proud of the fold. But Yeah, that was really insane. And that's actually cool that I don't show because I know that he will fall a lot. And again, this is a lot of information to see queens. Because now, in general, against matching profile that here fall queens might be the same that are scared and actually scared money. And they might not bluff that much. And you will see on the session that will we will have like a ton of shitty situation. Okay, second hand here. I wanna stop the music. Second hand here we 3-bet ace king. The board is the 9 for deuce here. Same profile. So tell me what do we do? I'm listening to you. No, it's a fish, like relative fish. I mean he has some limping and he has 40 VIP. No, just VIP players, rec players in general, they know how to fold. We have immense bias as a human because we don't see fold. But I can assure you there are players that call only a c-bet with top pair, for example, but we never saw them. We're calling, we see players that are extremely calling session because we see the call, but we don't see the fold. But I can assure you, like, the fishes make insane fold sometimes, just you don't have the information. One third overbets, 1/4 half pot. A lot of thinking, a lot of different options. Okay, I will tell you my thinking. I think I will call you 6D because your nickname is long. 6D, I think is right. It's the option I choose. I think it's really close between all the option. Honestly, I don't think 1/3 is that bad. I think we might even have an option that is actually better than the check and better than the 1/3 is betting something like 55 or like 45, for example. The reason why I think actually 45 might be better than the check is if you bet really small on this type of flop, you accomplish this. You make fold jack 10 and you get called by king queen, ace queen, ace jack. And you're pretty happy to get called by this hand. So actually here I checked, but I think 45 is better. Because the problem is when I check and hit a 7 or a 6, it's equity. And that's not good for me. And the reason, I think I remember, the reason why I check, because I thought about doing this sizing, the reason why I checked is because I say to myself, like, even if he had like jack 10 and he hit a 10, I mean, this guy is so tight that he will fall actually against aggression. That's what I say to myself. Yeah, but I think betting 45 is a bit better. When he calls, just barrel. But anyway, that should be close. We never have an overbet here, I guess. 1/3 because of backdoor flush draw. We don't play ace king. No, queen this way too. Always think about maximizing your EV against a fish. Don't think about balance here because he's never going to exploit us. Reading the comment. Yeah, but again, this guy, I even think you can check for ace king. I mean, this guy will not bet jack 10. He might even not bet 7s. So, yeah. Yeah, it's a wreck, yeah. No, $45. Yeah, $45, not 45%. Imperial bet 50% plus, even against Rex. Yep, so I just need to check here. Again, this specific profile, this tight, like we can't do that much things compared to check or betting small. I don't even think 1/3 is optimal. So his snap check, I think his snap check, he has actually a lot of air region. I don't think he has that much pocket pair. And if I bet small, he will not even raise pocket pair. So I check, but I don't like the check. I think it's better here to get called by ace queen, ace jack, ace 10. And and let him fall like Jack 10, Queen Jack region. So I don't like the check. Again, I think it's just better to bet 60 and make him fall in like 7-8. So I don't like the check here. But tell me, what do you think? If he was a pro, what will be your bet side on the flop? You play this flop as 3/4 check, if I remember correctly, and frequency of ace king. Again, I'm not sure, but you play 3/4 check here. Yeah, I mean, we are playing against a rec. Everything I do right now is against a rec, just to be clear. So yeah, I want to bet $45 for the reason I explained. But again, we play against a rec. Like, I'm not even talking about Tariq here. Just to be extremely clear. So yeah, I think betting on turn is better. I play way too fast again. And I play way too fast. Like, this timing I think is like 10 seconds, but I should take 20 seconds. So that's the mistake. I'm not doing this mistake that much. Usually I think a lot, but I should have think about it more. Because this is clearly the bet, no? Anyway. Now I guess we're going to check call. I don't think check raising is that great. And if you want to bluff, you can just call in jam. So there is no case when the raise will be higher EV, I think. I guess it's nice. I guess 1/4 is better for value than NL flop. No, I think flop is the. As I said, I don't think I will change my mind on this. So now on the river, I don't think he'll bluff ever, and I think he might call us with a 9 sometimes. Like, even the pocket pair, we need to bet extremely small. So tell me, what do you think? Yeah, 10%. I completely agree here. That's what I did. I think I hesitate between 20 and 30 because, like, they really don't call that much here in this spot. I think I ended up doing 30, but yeah, I think 25 is way too big. Like, he will fold, especially a guy that fold queens the last hand here. Like, he will just fold. Yeah, I will bet like 30. Also, like, timing wise, he checks really fast on the flop, so I don't think he has 10 that much. Oh, jacks. But yeah, I like the 10%. I think it's the best move. Can even maybe do 25, but yeah, 30 is okay. And he snap fold. That's funny. He didn't snap fold, but he fold. It might be a profile just fold 8 fast like this, but yep. So that's what it for this hand. But again, I don't think you can do anything else on the river. Like, you should really do small size. But yeah, the hand was playing okay, but on the turn I should bet. I should just bet small against passive fish, and just let him call like ace queen and let him fold queen jack jack 10 7 8, this type of thing, because he's so passive that I can do that, and I will not be raised. So yeah. Oops, excuse me. Okay, really interesting hand. Can't she raise a lot as a reg against regs because your free bets have almost no 6x? Regs against regs. Yeah, he can raise. Yesterday we played a spot like this, close, similar. But yeah, that's true. But Joels don't even bluff that much. Okay, nice. And let me up this. Okay, I guess we're going to free bet that. We got called 4 bets fast. I think ace king is a mix between call and jump here. If some players have wizards, we can have a return, but yeah. A mix, but I think you can pure jam because a lot of people just fall too much on the small blind. I would say. Um, and he bet 1/4. So, what do we do? And do you jam pre-flop here? We're still focused on the on the end. No, we don't fall ace king pre-flop, of course. That's at least the call. Um, yeah, that's it's thanks to your calls. Yeah, that's a mix between call and jam. In my head it was like 30-70, but I will fix that. So I call a small flop c bet. If he 4 bets and offer and range bets, I think it's the pool I can raise because when they raise, he needs to repush with ace king, and a lot of people are not going to do that. But I actually prefer to have like jack 10, block 10s and jacks, and let him fold ace king. So in theory, you prefer to have like ace king when you do that, but I think it's better to have like jack 10. I don't think you should any raise. There's not that many raise in theory, but I don't think when they raise they call ace king. Like most of them just going to play as ace king as a fold, honestly. And as in are never going to find the re-raise here. And if you see on Digital Wizard, I think Digital Wizard has leaks because the raise sizing in position is too big. But if you see here, the direction is against min raise, for example, like nobody will jump like king queen or like ace queen. Nobody do that. So nobody does that. So yeah, I think raising is okay, but call is fine too. What an interesting end. Also, we're going to review it after ace king. And now he bet again on the turn, and I'm gonna ask you a question. Do we prefer to have the ace of clubs or not when we call? What do you think? Oh, there is some delay. There's like 10 seconds delay, but that's fine. So, no, like we don't want to have the ace of clubs. That's what you mean. Well, actually, that's the opposite. And I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised. I thought it was not gonna be the case, but actually, you want the clubs to help you to bluff someone else with our clubs, and also something in the pool I think is smart is when you have the ace of clubs, um, you can bluff someone else, I think, and also you might cut his bluff actually, and if you bluff less the river because I think if somebody has like ace jack with the clubs, like even if he has the misdraw, we're in 4-bet pot, so that's not that relevant. He's going to jam. So I think against a pool like you block the bluffs. That's not that bad because then he will check more on the river. So that's interesting. Yeah, but I was surprised too. Like I'm aware that in this type of spots, like you like to have the ace of clubs, to like bluff someone out and cut some bluffs. I mean, you don't really want to cut some bluff in theory, but yeah, here I was a bit surprised. I thought you wanted to let him the ace jack ace queen region, but it doesn't change that much the bluffing frequency he had. And also now we can see as like king queen, king jack of clubs. If he has it, I block his equity a bit also. And I decided to fall on the turn because I thought the ace of clubs was not that great. But yeah, anyway, maybe against the pool it's actually a call, but yeah, I thought that he's going to jump all the time on the river, and the pool has a leak here is not to take enough bet small here and check. So in this spot you can take the decision on the turn because he will always jump the river. And it's not like you can call with the odds. Even if you touch a kings, you can still have EC. So it's not that you can bluff that when you're out. And even on a 7 or an 8, like he will just jam ECs. So, yep. So in theory, it's EV0. You need to call this most of the time, if I remember correctly. And yep. I don't think so. If someone can check on Wizard, if your cards you still have the sim. Thanks Matthew for the red. Thanks a lot. What's up? So yeah, they need to fall, but again, the EV in theory with this hand is also made by the end that just bets and check. But the pool is not doing this. Like when they bet this setting on the turns, they always bet the river. So like maybe it's not as high as you think here. I want to see if we what's the EV of the call here? Is it plus EV or not? It might be slightly, but it should be close. So I fold this 6 king specifically. Yep. So now this the king's region, but short end but interesting end. I open. He called from a small blind, ace-8 board, so I checked the flop with kings. Turn king. He decided to bet 3/4. You can even think about raising, but decided to call. And now he pot the river, and we have a decision here of kings, not to fold. To be clear, not folding. But I was thinking about jamming because even if he pots, like he doesn't have that many flushes, and something to know here is against the rec most of the time. They will not put flush draw in the 3/4. That's what I thought in game. And then if it's okay, I have the best hand and I need to jump. So I think I had a more than 50% equity and I decided to jump here. Even if like with ace-3, he can size lower. But yeah, he had ace-3. I'm 21. Ace king call 85% of the time. I think it should be close to EV0 if it calls 85% of the time because it should be EV0. If you have like EV is 0.2s, maybe it didn't seem the sim is not accurate enough, which might be the case on Wizard. Yeah, but again, it's extremely close in theory, and for the reason I explained, I think it's not as good as we think here. And maybe some odds also are on the bluff, like the queen, for example. Yeah, and just I'm a bit scared because if you see his range, he should have like king queen, king jack, this type of hands, and a lot of them are just non-take this combo also. So yeah, I think it's okay. And kings we won. So I'm gonna see the next hand with queens. Yeah, the end is not that interesting. I'll go for it fast. 3 bets, call. On this flop you can play multiple strategy here. I like to play the like 20% bets. You can even bet lower. Allows you to bet a lot here, and even with the only hand that lose EV by doing this, or and like ace queen ace king, but that's not even that bad. And by doing this sizing, you force him to play with his pocket pair, and that's not something people will do that much here. And here I decided to call. And now I was thinking about raising on the flop because I don't know, like would he has king queen? I don't see him raising freaks. I don't know. What do you think? Do we ballsy raise here or only call? Will you re-raise king queen? That's a good question. But if I raise queen, it's because I think he's unbalanced. Like I don't think the pool is balanced doing this, so when we go in such a line, I don't care of being balanced here. If you do an action that is not theoretically okay, then I just choose what I do against you. But yep. Yeah, interesting. And on the turn, like mine is just bad. Like the Queen of Diamonds is not good. Plenty or the better hands to defend. So theoretically it's a fall if I remember correctly, and yeah, Queen is just fallen right now, unfortunately. So yeah, this hand was not super interesting. Now the next hand is extremely interesting. So the board is not big, but it's this spots happens a lot, and I think a lot of people misplay this one. So I think it's one of the most important. So we have kings. I open. We call by loose rec here. What do we do? If you don't have that, if you don't have more information here, what will be the action? Do you prefer to bet 1/3? Do you prefer to bet 3/4? Do you check? Why? Explain to me. And while I'm waiting your response, I'm gonna drink some Pellegrino. Okay, bet 75. What else? One third, check, range bets, 25%. Okay, a lot of fresh months again. I think the highest EV is check. I agree with Oculta here. And Nicholas. Why do you think we want to check in spot? What do you think? Yep. Fish is in position of a stab. So if they stab too much, then you want to check more. And even if they don't stab too much, you want to check. The reason is because in this spot, the end you are value betting 3 times or betting on a flop. So you don't have that much incentives to bet, because if you bet too big, you're in 1/3. You let him not bluff Jack 10, Jack 9, 9/7, 8/5, and you can let him with a big portion of his range here in this spot, and in general they will struggle to like be balanced and not bluff too much. And I think I take way more money by checking, because the hands I value bet, free suite, I expect them to bet on a flop, like a queen will often bet, and I can just let him bet the random Jack 8 here. So I think checking with kings here is the best option. And he bet half pot. Gonna watch the comments. I don't know, it's open and button call. Yeah, the spot. Do you play check raise or check call? I'm waiting for a response. I don't think they're raising with Jack 8. Like, it should be too rare. So, I really don't think so. Okay, call and raise. That's really a lot of raise, a lot of call. Again, I think it's call and raise should be really close. I'm gonna explain why I think calling is better, but should be really close. I think that when there are calling station, you always need to raise, and when there are not, you always need to call, because when you check raise here, bet bets, you're not gonna value that many hands. They can easily follow queens. Even on queen free deuce, like the run out might just be bad. Can be another queen, maybe a 4, maybe a 5, maybe like a spade and another spade. Like, and a lot of runnouts are not that great, and the problem here is You need to think about how much draws are you repping and if the guy is calling. And I think here's this guy specifically was not calling enough when I check raise, and also the hand I value when I check raise bets are mostly king queen ace queen. And what do ace queen ace king when king queen when I check? They bet the turn, so I can check raise the turn and I can let him bet again random jack 8 here if he wants, so that's 6-4 for example. So I think calling is better. I really don't think raising is superior here, for the reason I explained. I think we overestimate the boards, the amount. We underestimate the amount of boards just bad. Like just these two cards, ace and queens. Two queens, four aces. So in average, continuous all the cards, 25% of runouts are not value bettable. And it's only these two cards. Not even counting when it's like a 4 and a 5, an ace and a 4. All is safer for now. And also the number of bluff you're ripping. Here you rip like ace 4, ace 5. There's no flush draw. People fall way more than you think here, queen. Especially on GG. I think if you play like other sites, like if you play on Winamax, e-poker, this type of sites, I will always check raise, but on GG I think they fall too much in general, especially Chinese fish that are usually smarter than other fishes. So yep, I prefer to call here. And I know in this spot I check call, so I called pretty fast here. Cannot level himself, but that was not like the best decision. I should have taken this. And also one of the most important thing is when he has like jack 8, I'll let him the options to rebluff. So yeah, what do we do on the river now on the ace? We value bet, do we check? Hey, Hispanico, what do you use for estimates? For the estimation, if an opponent is calling decision on ET, it's playing and then be observative because you don't have odds on GD. But I play against this guy on 5k and 1k, so I know this type of profile, and this guy is not calling a queen. But you are not talking about general fishes. I think it really depends on the side you play. Like, if I play e-poker, I will raise. I will just raise all the time. So it depends. Okay, 10%, block 10%, value queen X, 1/3. What do you value when you bet 10% here? Like your pocket pair? Yeah, this is tough actually. I think here the only option we have is check and super small here. This is the two options. I think with this timing, he doesn't have a queen that much actually. I think most of the time it's yeah, I think most of the time it's not queen. He will think about it more with a queen. So now I think his range is pocket pair or bluffs. I don't think I can agree with the call here. If he bets, because nobody is checking freeze and juice here. I think they mostly bet, and now the river he's capped, and if he bets like intermediate sizing, I can just raise. But that's another topic. But here on this spot, I thought about betting and checking. And I think it's better to check because the only hands we can value if we expect he doesn't have a queen or pocket pairs, even against 10%, I mean 10% he will call pocket pairs, but um, he will call 10% pocket pair, but now I can just check, let him bluff with Jack 8, 60 and win 60, for example. That's why it's tough actually. And this guy specifically, if I raise like 500, he folds everything. So I can value his bluff by letting him bet. Not value his bluff, but you understand. So I think check is superior because the number of pocket pairs he has are way it's a lower amount compared to how much hair he can just bet here. That's why I think check was better. But again, it should be close. I think this hand is really complicated. He showed 9-6, so he didn't even think about bluffing. Which means betting was better with knowing this information. Yeah, no, I thought he can represent the ace a lot here, but he saw me maybe a lot on his king and his jack, so decided not to bluff. And then fine with the hand he played. If he didn't tank like this on the turn, I think I would have bet because we can value more queen then. But really the thing we need to do is just if he bets you can call him to raise. Like he's going to fold so much. You really need to take this spots all the time against Rex here. But that's really interesting. And to be honest, I'm not even sure on the... We didn't even talk about leading the turn here. Like leading the turn might be a possibility if you need 3 or 4 things. First, to lead the turn, he needs to raise the region that he had planned to bet on the turn. So if I bet 10 here, he really needs to raise hands that he would have bet before on the turn. Would have like 3/4 if I checked. That's the first thing. Second thing is he needs to raise you with air or call his air region, and you don't want him to fold air. That's the second thing. The third thing, just to get tired now. The third thing is the board needs to not evolve badly because otherwise it's just not useful to do this, and it's way better to check raise compared to limp raise because you need to keep the initiative. And that's probably the 3 things here when you can raise. And also, it's do he fold the weaker region, but not air. In this spot, it was not the best spot to lead, but you can think about leading good hands like this because now you let them raise queen, they can raise bluff, and in some spots where they run out of cleans and you have a lot of bluff in your perseverance, that's the 4 things. You can just lead, let him raise, call, and donk, and let him call the queen X region. And most of Rex here, when they raise big on the turns, will just not blood the river. So and you will take it more money by doing this because you let the air raising, and that's a lot of money anyway. I wanted to check bluff here. I want to bluff because I want to bluff the river because the calling of raise is way higher than calling of call. Like there is simply no hands that will call me on the river. Maybe ace queen slow play, maybe pocket freeze. This will be super rare. And we can have all the random ace 10, ace 4, ace 5, ace 3, and I think this type of hands will fall all the time when I raise. So that's why I want to check raise, because I think the check raise is the EV of the check raise is way higher than the EV of the check call here. This spot.